Oh my God, you guys, we are 3 days away officially today, the time that we're recording, 3 days away from John Cena's final match, y'all. I'm not crying, you're crying. It's it's getting real, you guys. It's getting real. I mean, damn, time flies so fast. It seems like not that long ago that John Cena announced his farewell tour, and we're here, damn near. Saturday night's main event is 3 days away, and we're gonna predict the matches, including the very sad final match of John Cena versus Gunther, and the rest of the matches on the card, the storylines. And oh man, I don't know how I feel about that, you guys. But we're all here. The Snug Crew is here. Mr. Blood and Tommy are here. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
I'm good. Just it's sinking in that we literally have like 3 days left, and we'll never see him as an in-ring performer again, and it's just fucking crazy. Um, I'm sure we'll have him at his Hall of Fame, and he'll stop in, maybe once, maybe twice a year to say hello, to pop the crowd, or be a guest or something. But he's never going to get physical in the ring again. He's made that clear. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll see him do an AA once in a blue moon if he pops back in on someone and dip the fuck out. But in ring career wise, man, it's kind of crazy. It's over. I'm also now a little annoyed at Saturday night's main event, to be honest. As excited as I am for it, I'm kind of pissed off because Jesse the Body Ventura is back, according to reports that he will be on this Saturday night's main event. I thought we got rid of him after he basically ruined the last or the two Saturday night main events ago when he fucked up the whole ending to Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest by bitching and moaning about how the finish happened and burying the match as it was going off air. And it's like, what the fuck? And so WWE had quietly like separated from him, and now they've apparently just brought him back. And it's like, oh fuck. Don't let him talk during. Please, if the wrestling gods care, do not let Jesse Ventura be on commentary for John Cena's final match. Just let Michael Cole and like Wade Barrett call that or something, please.
Yeah, the realization it's hitting hard and it's hurting like a motherfucker. Like this really hurts the realization of hey, Cena's final ever match is in 3 days. And then we're never seeing this man in ring again. Luckily, he has announced that that does not mean he's done with WWE entirely because he's still going to be working with the backstage stuff. He has signed with that. So there is that as well. And I'm hoping that they do not do what they did with Goldberg and cut him off mid speech. Because that's what they did with Goldberg, is Goldberg started talking for his final speech after his match with Gunther. Like he started talking to do that whole goodbye speech and all of that, and they cut Goldberg off. So hopefully they don't do that with John Cena.
Yeah, I did see that report that John Cena, even though we can't see him how he says it, I think we are still going to see John Cena because the reports are saying that he signed like a 5 year ambassador's deal with the WWE, which means like what do ambassadors usually do? I know Titus O'Neil is considered an ambassador, right? But what does that even mean?
So they do like they promote the business outside the business. They do like charity events, or sometimes they're a part of scouting. Sometimes they're just on like the Good Morning Show and they say nice things, or they do help with outreach and things like that. John Cena did say in an interview he was doing with I think Chris Van Vliet that he would be like a part of helping like mold the future. He wouldn't have a lot of time. He would have to put time aside to dedicate to doing it, but he had mentioned like he had spent the previous weekend, or he would be like this past weekend, he spent like the whole weekend at like Bailey's, like with Bailey training a bunch of new talents and stuff.
Wait,
And
who
sitting,
did? Cena did?
yeah, he spent the whole day with
Oh.
Bailey down here in Florida, I guess, at a training camp or whatever. And he literally was there for, according to her, like 8 hours or 10 hours and watched 10 matches. and like critiqued and gave advice and helped um, really like boost morale for the trainees and really shed a lot of wisdom. So he was saying he would love to keep doing more stuff like that. He said it'll be hard to find a lot of time because of his filming schedule, but he says that with the ambassador role, it allows him to make time to do that when he's able. So he will still have a hand in molding the future of WWE professional wrestlers and superstars, and I think that's a great thing for him, honestly.
Damn, so he's getting paid to
And
spend a whole weekend with Bailey, huh? That's pretty crazy.
I do completely agree with everything that Blood just said, especially with the fact that 3 out of 4 of these matches, the other 3 taking out Cena versus Gunther, involves NXT and TNA superstars that are in their 20s. The highest, I believe, is like 26 or 27 with Oba Femi. So that in itself means a whole lot as well.
Yeah, I really like how they're doing that for this Saturday night's main event, even though I thought that was the whole point of what the tournament was going to be for, but hey, I guess not. At least they're going to do it on the actual show, which is to really highlight some NXT stars.
Well, we found out that because Cena had talked about this also in the Chris Van Fleet episode, because he just sat down with him one more time. That episode came out, I think, within the last 48 hours. And I was listening to it last night while I was making dinner. And he didn't have say in almost any of the opponents that he faced early this year. He didn't. He didn't have say in Brock Lesnar, even though Triple H wants to push that narrative because he had already kind of debunked that himself. But he did have a say in what his last match would look like. And he said, well, I don't want it to just be about the last match. I want it to be about the future. I want it to be about giving back, giving forward. And he said that it was his idea to do an entire show of NXT talents, young and up and coming talents, to spotlight them on a card that would be predicated on a house that would be drawn essentially on him. And he knew that that was the biggest spotlight, the biggest gift he could offer them was, you would, on my last show, I want new and up and coming talent to be featured on my name, on a card with my name. The biggest draw, and he said in his own words, probably the biggest draw that Peacock will probably have for Saturday night's main event. And he said also the fact that it could reach other news outlets and other stations because it's his final match, and he knows how big that is. So pretty selfless, in my opinion, for him to, because he could have done anything, and he's like, nah, man. He's like, I want my last show to be a bunch of new people, a bunch of up and coming stars. I want to help build the future. And that just really tells you what a guy John Cena is. So even though he couldn't pick how the rest of his year had gone up and down through the booking, at least on his way out, he 100% is all about putting people over. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's cool and everything. And yeah, that is a very good thing to do. But before leaving, you want to put over the younger guys. But, I'm just saying it would have been cool that instead of, for example, giving The Miz 2 fucking spots on the tournament, why not give it to someone else down there on NXT? I don't know. But yeah, at least they're doing it for Saturday night's main event. When it comes to Jesse Ventura, um, I love seeing Jesse Ventura or hearing him because he just does not give a fuck. Unlike Joe Tessitore or Corey Graves, who fucking feels like they're reading off a script more than 75% of the time. Jesse Ventura just brings that nostalgia and that heel commentator feel that we don't really get anymore nowadays. So I don't want him to be the announcer for John Cena's final match. I think if anyone should be, it has to be Michael Cole, because he's been calling John Cena matches for fucking ever. But I would like to see Jesse Ventura on the show just to see what crazy shit he's gonna say.
Oh, I'm sure they reined his ass in. I'm sure they said they've laid the law down for him when they brought him back. I guarantee you.
They have to, yeah.
But like, I don't care. Look, he can ruin any other fucking match he wants to. He cannot ruin that one.
He's John Cena's actually gonna give up to Gunther just like that. No. All right. Well, let's get into the matches then, shall we? Because we got 4 of them, like we established. We still have one more Friday Night SmackDown left. I don't think that they're going to add a 5th match because Saturday night's main event is a 5-hour. I'm sorry, a 2-hour show. I was going to say 5-hour show. Saturday night's main event is a 2-hour show, and like Tommy, you pointed this out earlier before we went on the air, is that the last couple PLEs, they were just 4 matches. So I think it's safe to say we're going to stay at these 4 matches, right?
I think that the 4 match thing is important for time constraint. You have to think if it's a 2-hour show, you got to think at least 35 minutes. 35 of those minutes is ads. So you've got yourself like an hour and 25 minute show. You've got 4 matches. You've got to imagine the longest one is going to be John Cena versus Gunther. It'll be the longest match of the show. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes a half hour, considering the fact that him versus AJ Styles, they just uploaded that match to YouTube on their channel. It comes in at 38 minutes on YouTube, and I'm sure that's with entrances, but still. So in my opinion, you got to think that if, let's just say it's an hour and 25 minutes of match time, you've got to hope that at least 1 or 2 of these matches doesn't run longer than 15 minutes, because you want as much time for that John Cena Gunther match, but then you want the most important part, the goodbye from John Cena, and you want time for him to talk and say farewell and get his flowers and the thank you Cenas and the crying in the ring and the bowing his head to the fans. You need that.
That moment.
The fans need that closure, that goodbye from Cena. And Cena needs that closure and that goodbye. So 4 matches works for me, so long as the matches in total don't run longer than an hour and 10 minutes total, and the end of the show is like 15 minutes for Cena to say his piece, say his goodbyes, let him embellish, let him go overboard, and just let him have that. He's earned it. He's earned it.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think they're gonna do Cena like they did Goldberg, where they just cut him off because it's Cena, man. You know, he's definitely earned it. I'm not saying Goldberg didn't, but I feel like Goldberg made most of his name in the WCW anyway, so it's like, what the fuck, you know? But all right, I want to get started with the match between the undisputed champion Cody Crybaby for Life, Cody Rhodes, versus the NXT champion Oba Femi. Now, Cody Rhodes made this announcement last week on Friday Night SmackDown that the winner between the match between Ricky Saints versus Oba Femi for the NXT championship, which took place at Deadline, not only wins the championship, the NXT championship, they also get a shot to face the one and only Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. And that winner coming out of Deadline was none other than the Rula Oba Femi. He's going to be facing Cody Rhodes in a one-on-one. And goddamn, Cody Rhodes has his fucking hands full, doesn't he? Oba Femi looks more jacked than ever, bigger than ever since he last returned recently to NXT, beat Ricky Saints, got his title back. He's really on a roll right now, Oba Femi is. Who do you guys think is going to win this one? What do you guys think is going to happen?
I'm going to say Cody. It's the end of December. I don't see them taking it off of Cody right now, especially with reports that apparently Roman wants him versus Cody 3 at WrestleMania 42, and he politicked backstage to get moved to Raw in order to work with Cody and Braun Breaker in order to make that happen. So I got Cody. Oba is incredible. Oba is a future star. Oba is a big, big man with a lot of charisma. The fans love him. He's over like Rover. He's an incredible heel. And on top of that, it's just, he's got the look. He's got everything you could need. This is the highest profile match he's had in his entire career against the face of the fucking company. And I think that if anything more than else, even though NXT never gets to win against main roster talent, I don't see him beating Cody here. Is the title on the line or no?
No.
Okay, so if the title's not on the line, well, you know what? If the title's not on the line, I could see them giving it to Oba just to really put him over. But I've got to go with Cody with my gut saying that they will let Oba get close as hell, but I don't see them letting Cody drop, and do the job for him right now. So I got Cody with Toxic's prediction here. He says, "Holy banger! This match is just star-studded on its own with just Cody and Oba. I feel that no matter who wins, it will be the right choice. But at one point, I don't see them having Oba take it off Cody. Even though, so I guess he might have thought this for the title, but it's not. But at another point, imagine the push that it would give Oba a better position. Not that he's not great or in a great position, but I've been saying for a while, while I was out, Oba needs a call up, especially if they do a draft this year and bring Gunther to SmackDown, so they can get a face to face with a baby face Oba versus a heel Gunther, which Oba is a tweener in his opinion, but he can be a face when he wants and a heel when he wants. So he's rolling the dice and saying that he thinks Oba's winning."
And I am agreeing with Toxic with the fact that this is not a title match, in which I always had a feeling it wasn't going to be, but apparently a lot of people think that, oh, this is a title match. No, not once did they say this was for the Undisputed title or for the NXT title. So, not a title match. But I honestly think what a better way, because it was a very similar thing with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo didn't win that match when he had it with Cody, but he got damn close to, because of the fact that, if I remember correctly, was a title match. But this one, I gotta go Obafemi here, knowing the fact that he just came back pretty much just to face Ricky Saints. I'm going to say the same thing I said on our deadline review. Again, after this, y'all can listen to that anywhere y'all listen to the podcast. We released that last week. I really wanted this to be Ricky Saints, specifically because of the history Ricky and Cody have. But it's Obafemi, and I have to go Oba. Because like Toxic said, there is almost no better way to put this man over than to have him beat the undisputed champion, the face of the company, Cody Rhodes.
You guys all bring up really, really good points, but let me remind you guys who we're talking about. We're talking about Cody motherfucking Rhodes, all right? The fucking guy right now in the WWE. Obafemi's great, but there ain't no way Cody Rhodes is losing to Obafemi, no matter how great Obafemi is. However, I also don't think Cody Rhodes is going to win, because you guys said it yourself. Obafemi's on a roll. He just won the NXT championship. I don't think you can beat Obafemi right now, even if you are Cody Rhodes. So last week, and this all depends on what happens on this episode of Friday Night SmackDown, because I don't know, right? But last week, what did we see? Drew McIntyre, who got attacked by Cody, and Cody was demanding for Drew McIntyre's suspension to get lifted. Well, Drew McIntyre is only suspended on SmackDown, not Saturday night's main event. What if Drew McIntyre shows up in Saturday night's main event, tries to cost Cody the match, leading to a disqualification, and maybe, who knows, maybe this match ends in a DQ? And maybe if Oba does win, it's going to be because of Drew McIntyre. I think that's the only way you can beat Cody right now. I don't know if you want to taint Obafemi's victory like that over Cody Rhodes by an interference with Drew McIntyre. But either way, I don't think this match ends clean, if that makes sense.
I would say that I can agree with that, but it's one of those things where I could see them I could see Drew coming in to attempt an interference, and Oba himself gets in Drew's way, and then we get a crazy stare down between Drew and Oba, so they can show the size difference, and Oba be like, "No, not this way," like I have power, like his whole thing where he's not going to want Drew's help. He's the NXT champion. But also, I agree that it is rough to pin Oba here right after he just won the title back. He just won the championship from Ricky, didn't he? So it's like, how do you win a championship a few days ago and then you fucking get pinned the very next show that you're on outside of NXT? It's like, come on. So I'm going to switch my prediction actually, and I'm going to say no contest.
So, Snug, there is another option here. Since I have a feeling like you missed NXT this week, something big happened.
I know. I'm so mad I missed it.
Something
God
real
damn
big
it.
happened.
Trust me, I fucking regret it already.
The Iron Survivor himself, the young OG, decided to not wait until New Year's Evil and get his title shot on NXT itself. He was not successful. Obafemi did retain the title. Although, here's the other option. Ricky Saints turned fucking heel.
Yeah, what does that have to do with Cody versus Obafemi?
The main person that pushed him into turning heel was him losing the title to Obafemi.
Okay.
So it's a possibility he could get involved and screw over Oba.
Ricky Saints?
Yeah.
That would be interesting, actually. That would be very interesting. All right. I like that. Either way, this match between Obafemi and Cody is very, very interesting, no matter which way you slice it. Unlike this next match we're going to talk about, Bayley versus Sol Ruca. Now, Mr. Blood, hear me out. Before you start getting in defense mode about your precious soul snatcher, Sol Ruca lost the North American champion. Sol Ruca lost the speed title. Sol Ruca lost the Iron Woman Survivor Challenger thing that they did last weekend. Why does she get a spot at Saturday night's main event versus Bayley just like that? Just like that. Anyway, Bayley versus Sol Ruca, who y'all got?
For every reason you just said, you answered your own question. Sol Ruca. Because they had her put over whoever for the speed, put over for the NXT Women's Champ or the North American Championship. She lost the Iron Woman Survivor, or whatever the fuck. I don't watch NXT enough to know all this shit. But when it comes down to it, what better way to remind people why Sol was able to win the North American Championship, win the fucking speed title, and be a double holding champion for so long, and go to toe-to-toe with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and all these other people. What better way to remind people, hey, we are pushing this woman, than have her beat fucking Bayley, Grand Slam champion, future Hall of Famer Bayley, who, by the way, is getting to that point in her career where it's time she starts putting over younger talent anyway. She's in her late 30s. People like Charlotte are putting people over like Tiffany. You got Alexa putting over like Kyrie and all these other people. So why on earth couldn't Bayley put Sol over? It's not like Bayley's had a star-studded year, So, I mean, Bayley's won more championships than Sol, which also means she's lost way more championships than Sol. So it's not as if Sol, just because she's lost 2 titles recently, means that she can't beat Bayley. She's younger than Bayley, faster than Bayley. She's probably got more energy and more gas in the tank than Bayley. So I'm going to go ahead and say, as great and as amazing as Bayley is, and believe you me, that woman will never get the flowers that she deserves, at least from WWE. Sol is 100% beating Bayley here, in my opinion. It makes sense. Bayley is that superstar that WWE has turned her into that puts over younger talent when the time comes. She has become that utility player in WWE. When it comes to Toxic says, another match made in heaven, in my opinion. Just the individual talent in this match is also insane. He's not wrong. These are two of probably, in my opinion, the most athletic women in this entire company. Now, I don't see Bayley burying Soul because, I mean, come on, it's Bayley. So I have Soul winning this, but I unfortunately see Zarya heel turning in this match and screwing Soul over. So I think that means he would like to have it. He would like it to have Soul win, but he thinks that Zarya turns heel regardless.
Tox, but as much as I get where you're coming from, you clearly didn't watch this week's NXT either. So in the back, these two legitimately hugged it out and full blown squashed all that shit. So there's that. And Snug, I am going to remind you, Soul didn't lose either of those titles. Zarya lost North American, and she had to relinquish the speed, which
she still
means
lost them.
Soul herself did not lose those titles.
Okay, but she did lose her rematch versus Blake Monroe, didn't she?
But he's got a point there.
Yeah, via throwing in the towel.
Yeah, he's got
a loss
point.
is a loss.
No, Tommy's got a point, Edgar. She didn't lose them herself, which means that was WWE protecting her, taking them off of her to put someone else over without it being at the expense of Soul's own credibility. It was at the expense of Zarya's credibility. And Zarya did throw that towel in on Soul. Soul didn't ask for that towel to be thrown in. Zarya did it on purpose. And again, Tommy, to counteract what you said about, well, they hugged it out. When in professional wrestling have two people hugging it out ever meant that they were on good terms? Just ask Marty Jannetty. So
Zarya is a sneaky snake.
Exactly. And Zarya almost speared Soul out of her soul. Okay. So, and that was just like 2 weeks ago. So that whole clip's going viral right now. So, I don't trust Zarya as far as I can throw her. But I also think, Edgar, you're wrong. Tommy is right here. Sol Ruca is not the one who lost her own title. She trusted her friend to defend them on her behalf when she had a leg injury. And Zarya shit the bed, not Sol.
Zarya shit the bed with the North American Championship, yes. But then Sol got a rematch herself versus Blake Monroe and lost. The way that she lost
and
does
Zarya's
not matter.
Whoa. How she didn't lose absolutely matters. It speaks to Sol's credibility as a champion or a fighting contender. Blake Monroe is a fucking cheating heel.
Well, if you watch the match like I did, Blake Monroe was beating the brakes out of Sol Ruca up and down that whole entire ring.
Tommy, did Blake Monroe not spend half that entire match cheating?
She fucking did.
Yeah.
What?
So that's
working,
that's not winning straight up.
Working on the knee ain't cheating.
But it's not a clean victory. That's like saying all of Dominic Mysterio's defenses were clean.
No, that's cheating.
And
Blake Monroe was not doing that.
How does Blake win?
Speaking of that knee, that is the one thing I'm worried about. Because during the I Am Survivor Challenge, when Sol originally came out, Kalani was pinned and she was supposed to go into that penalty box right away. But her response was, nope, went right after Sol's knee. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But my final prediction here is absolutely Sol Ruca over Bayley.
It's the right time to put her over. I mean, when you think about anybody else on this card, Bayley is the one person on this card, the one veteran on this card that WWE absolutely treats like a utility player. I 100% can believe them telling Bayley to put Sol over because it's not on a massive PLE. It's not WrestleMania. And John Cena kept saying this in this interview with Chris Van Vliet. He kept calling the matches here tonight non-canon. He used that word so many times in the interview where he said, and they can come and have non-canon matches with main roster talent. exhibitions. So, and he kept putting that over, specifically those words. So he's saying these aren't storylines, they're not feuds, they're just simple exhibitions where there's no story, it's not canon. So that tells me Bailey could absolutely put Soul over here because of the way that he himself is framing the idea of this entire card being that of one of no consequence.
Well, I hate to break it to you guys. Bailey is gonna win. First of all, Mr. Blood, I don't care how old Bailey is. I'm not gonna let you call Bailey old, okay? She's my California native over here on my side of my hometown, and there is no way Sol Ruka is gonna beat Bailey because Bailey, I feel like she needs it more right now because of everything that's been happening with Bailey. And I think just having Sol Ruka on the card, period, so she can showcase herself so people can see her, I think that's good enough. I don't think Sol Ruka needs to win this match. Yes, it'll do great for Sol Ruka by beating Bailey, but to me, it just makes more sense with everything that's been happening with Bailey and Sol Ruka, both separately in their respective brands. I'm going to go with Bailey. I'm going to go with experience over whatever you want to give or call Sol Ruka.
Youth, speed, more energy, more gas in the tank. Not to mention the fact, you got to think too, man. Bailey, they don't even know what they want to do with Bailey, WWE. They've already dropped her whole, multi-personality storyline. In case you guys have noticed, they haven't used that in weeks. Just randomly in weeks. And they've been beating Bailey and Lyra up and down the card all year without a second's thought. So when I think of how they've booked Bailey this year, that's the main reason I 100% can believe them having Bailey lose to Sol here. Because they know that no matter how much Bailey loses, the fans will always be behind Bailey because they see her as an underdog. But Sol is young and up and coming, and Sol has yet to win on the main roster. WWE has not let her beat a single main roster talent, even though she's been on the main roster in like 3 or 4 different times now this year. And now she's coming up here again against Bailey. They've got to give her a win over main roster talent at some point if they plan on calling her up in the near future. So I think this is the time to give her one time.
Yeah, and for all those reasons, I think Bailey needs it more. Because poor Bailey, man, she's been fucking booked into the fucking atmosphere and she's just floating up there with nowhere to go. I feel bad for her. All right, but we'll see what happens between Bailey and Sol Ruka. The next match, this one was just added on Monday Night Raw randomly out of nowhere. Javon Evans and Leon Slater, two guys from NXT. Leon Slater is actually from TNA, but he's been on NXT a lot lately, which Leon Slater's most likely going to be a part of NXT eventually, kind of like Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry and those people from TNA. He's a young, high-flying kid, very exciting to watch. And they've been really showcasing this tag team. Javon Evans too, man. He's like the next guy for NXT. He's gonna be NXT champion next after Obafemi. I mean, he's next. I mean, no pun intended. They're gonna be facing the Raw tag team champions AJ Styles versus Dragon Lee.
So this one's kind of up in the air for me, right? Because obviously, I don't believe the titles are on the line for this match, are they? They are on the line, Tommy?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So then it's a foregone conclusion. AJ and Dragon Lee retain. They're not. I don't see them giving main roster tag titles to an NXT guy, let alone a TNA guy, because as we've already learned, WWE will never lets TNA win on the main roster ever. Recent case in point, freaking Dolph Ziggler and Javon Evans in the last time it was out tournament couldn't get a win. When it comes to Javon, dude is just incredible. That kid has got one hell of a future in this company. And even if he's not in this company, the dude's got a hell of a future in professional wrestling, period. He's going to be a really big draw one day, I feel. Leon Slater, I think that guy is. I don't know much about him. I do know there was some controversy about him even being involved in this match because apparently he was scheduled and booked to be somewhere else overseas in another tournament final. That was a really big deal involving like a title or something about that. I saw that in the wrestling news this morning, and there was a huge bit of disparity where he was supposed to be involved in that, and they had to pull him out of it, out of his actual commitment to that for this match. And the other company wasn't too pleased about it and felt like WWE was pushing him around and bullying him about it. But WWE's like, well, he was supposed to be involved in this as far back as March, according to reports. So it's like, it was just like, they were like, well, you can't get mad at him. It's a huge opportunity for him. This is a massive spotlight, your indie promotion, be damned. I'm sorry. He gets to be on the biggest spotlight night of his entire career on a card, literally, that is John Cena's final match ever. So when people ever go back and they rewatch this show in the future, in the history books, when it's on the network or the whatever, 10 years, 15 years from now, and they open up the Saturday night, main event library, they're going to see him on there. That's a big deal for him because his name will be synonymous on John Cena's final card for the rest of his life. So I don't blame him. When it comes down to it, I think AJ and Dragon Lee have to retain because WWE has shown us time and time again. One, they won't let Javon win on the main roster yet either. They'll give him a great showcase, but they won't let him win. And two, they won't let a TNA guy win on their main roster. As great as this TNA WWE partnership is, it's very unfair. It's very one-sided. WWE wants to remain, hey, all of our guys are better than you. And the only way we'll let your TNA guys beat our guys is if they beat them on NXT. But we don't want to send our WWE guys over to TNA to lose because we can't have WWE guys losing on TNA TV. So it's just a very one-sided fucking, partnership they have. So I can't see them letting AJ and Dragon Lee drop it to two guys that aren't on the main roster, and one guy doesn't even work for WWE. But when it comes to Toxic says, so is Triple H actually making good matches, or is it just me? Because holy crap, this match is going to be crazy. Now, if this is for the titles, then absolutely Leon and Javon should win. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but even if it's not, then Leon and Javon should still win. And I know y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but I think AJ Styles takes the pin. Either way, it would do so much for these two to pin a legend, in my opinion, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Tak, unfortunately, this is for the titles, and there's no possible way that they're getting those titles. As I love Javon Evans and I love Leon Slater, these two in general are absolutely phenomenal.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Hold on, Tommy. What the fuck did you do to your internet? Because you're hella laggy now.
No clue.
And now you're frozen.
What's weird is the fact that my Wi-Fi has been iffy ever since the power outage happened for like a second yesterday.
Okay. All right. Let's do that again because we didn't really catch that at first. Start over. Sorry.
I said, Tox, as much as I agree with you, you're wrong here. Javon Evans and Leon Slater are absolute amazing athletes. They are phenomenal as a tag team. But unfortunately, this is for the titles. They're not getting those tag team titles. They're just not, especially with the fact that not only does WWE love to go, hey, NXT, you guys aren't winning matches on the main roster, but at the same time, Leon Slater is also currently X Division champion for TNA. So it's not happening. As much as I would love it to happen, it's not going to. So I'm going with Dragon and AJ Styles.
I still can't believe the fucking indie promotion that Leon Slater was supposed to wrestle for, which I don't know who it is, but I can imagine that they're not on TV just for that simple fact. Hey, We had booked this guy months ago, but he has an opportunity to be on WWE TV on a glorified house show on Peacock. Man, fuck that guy for not coming to our show and picking WWE over us. Like, what? That's fucking crazy. Not only that, WWE Raw Tag Team titles on the line. You get to be in the ring with AJ fucking Styles on John Cena's final match, the same show as John Cena's final match. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to the indie show. Like, and I'm sorry, like, if
I
I'm
have
the
I have the story here, by the way.
yeah, I want to hear more about this because that's the fact that
Yeah.
they're getting upset about this is crazy to me.
So, as you know, during the December 8th edition of WWE Raw, it was announced that Leon Slater will team with Javon Evans to face WWE World Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Sadly, Slater won't be doing a show for WXW in the process. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select noted that before the match announcement, he contacted WXW regarding Slater's withdrawal from their upcoming event. Sources within WXW reportedly said the withdrawal was attributed to scheduling issues, though the appearance had been set since March. Oh, so I had it wrong. He was supposed to be on their show all the way back since March. Damn. The promotion had arranged dates around Slater's TNA commitments and said that he was positive and helpful as usual during this most recent WXW appearance. After WWE announced Slater for Saturday Night's Main Event, WXW sources reportedly said the situation was kind of what the promotion expected, but they would have preferred notice from WWE due to the timing. The lack of communication put Slater in a difficult position as well. It was also noted that they spoke with TNA sources who supported Leon Slater taking the WWE booking over the one with WXW and viewed it as another sign of the ongoing partnership between the two companies. Rev Pro was reportedly reached out for comment but did not receive a response. And it's also, here's the big deal too. He might have taken the WWE booking while breaking his commitment he had for 8 months at this point, basically. Leon Slater's TNA wrestling contract is set to expire in 2026, and it will be very interesting to see where he lands when everything is said and done. So it's very possible that he wanted to show his commitment to showing up for TNA and WWE, perhaps because he's hoping that once his contract's up, maybe TNA might want him based on him giving the performance of a lifetime in this match this weekend.
Dude, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. This kid has the opportunity of his life, and you expect him to go to a fucking indie show over like, I don't give a fuck what kind of agreement. It was a handshake agreement 8 months ago. Hey, I'm working for the biggest company in the fucking world right now. I'm sorry if I can't make it. I don't know you shit.
Plus,
The
if I
fuck?
want to sign with them next year, I got to prove to them that I'm willing to put them first.
Yeah,
You know?
like I'm sorry, like I don't want to burn bridges, but also like I'm busy with a future. I'm sorry I can't help your little promotion right now, but maybe one day.
And
Thank
TNA,
you anyway.
and the report said TNA was encouraged him to take the WWE spot over his WXW commitment. Like, I mean,
I've never even heard of that. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy. But I mean, though I do understand and feel bad because apparently what he was supposed to be involved in was a huge deal that had been built for months. That he was supposed to be heavily involved in the finale of the story. So I understand where they're like, "What the fuck, dude? We've been writing this for months." But at the same time, it's like, bro, you got one shot to make a first impression. Like I can't fault him for putting his career path first.
And also, that's the booker's fault for that indie promotion who's heavily dependent on someone of a name like Leon Slater. Like, I don't know, in 8 months, I feel like a lot of things can change in 8 months. Like, you can't expect everyone to be at your beck and call for 8 months like that, man.
Yeah, I mean, like he could die within 8 months. He could get a God knock on wood, and I wouldn't wish this on, but he could experience some terrible career-ending injury, and you'd still be in the same boat. Like.
All right, well, we'll see what happens with that. Leon Slater is going to be at the final Saturday night's main event for John Cena's final match. And it's time to talk about the main event.
Not
At
yet.
least,
You didn't tell
no?
us who you think's winning.
Oh, yeah, it has to be Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. It's going to be a great showcasing for the younger two guys, but Leon Slater, X Division champion, and also the reports of the people that are being called up from NXT, they're being reported to be called up to SmackDown, not Raw. So that's another reason why I don't think um, Javon Evans and Leon Slater are going to win, because this is for the Raw tag team titles.
Which makes a lot of sense when you notice that all these NXT call-ups have all been coming on SmackDown. Like Javon Evans got a showcase on SmackDown. Nathan Frazier, Axiom, SmackDown. They've been showing off Sol Ruka on SmackDown. Like, Azaria, SmackDown. They brought up freaking Lash Legend on SmackDown. So I think it's because they know that they are over bloated on Raw. And so they're trying to pad out SmackDown with fresh matchups and fresher superstars, and trying to turn that into, like, if NXT is like college, then SmackDown is your trade school. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Yes, it makes sense that they would all go to SmackDown. It just does, which just kind of forces that idea. There's no way that they're dropping them.
Yeah, but this match is going to be cool because I feel like most people by now know who Javon Evans is, but this is going to be the first time a lot of people see Leon Slater. And you guys are in for a treat, because that fool, he's pretty crazy, I think. All right. John Cena versus Gunther, the final match. God damn it. I still can't believe it, man. It's crazy, man. We're not going to see Cena again. They had a whole ass tournament for John Cena. 16 names to kind of make it seem like, okay, who's going to make that spot? Who's going to be in that position? Who's going to be the guy to retire John Cena after this farewell tour that they did? So they really hyped up this thing. They made it a big deal. It's a huge opportunity. Whoever that's going to be, they're going to go down in history forever. This match is going to be remembered forever, And it was announced from way before this fucking thing started that it was going to be Gunther. And it was Gunther. Gunther fucking beat everybody in this fucking tournament. And now we have Gunther versus John Cena in the final match. But I'm actually excited for this because of the story that they're telling so far. John Cena never gives up, right? That's his motto, never give up. A lot of people live by that. John Cena lives by that. But Gunther is here to make Cena give up and make him tap out, which is something Cena rarely ever does. So very interesting stuff here, you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen?
I love Gunther. I really am a massive fan of Gunther. I just didn't want it to be him in this spot. Y'all heard me bitch, whine, moan, and rant for 4 fucking months that it should have been LA Knight, in my opinion. And lo and behold, I wanted LA Knight so badly that the universe heard me, and they even put him in the goddamn finals. Because that tells you that WWE really must have believed it should have been one of those two. That's what that tells me. WWE put those two up against each other because they truly believed that one of those two men should have this match. And it was Gunther. For me, I know in my soul and in the pit of my stomach, Gunther is beating Cena. Though I love John, this entire tournament, this entire night is predicated on putting over the younger talent, putting over the future biggest stars of the next generation. Gunther is in this current upcoming generation that's been here for a few years now, but he is a part of this generation. He is, that big, massive heel star that WWE has built. John Cena is putting him over because there's no other reason John would have asked for this if he didn't believe that it would put Gunther into the stratosphere, because John knows that once he's gone, the train's got to keep moving. And you need as many credible threats to baby faces as possible. And John Cena is the baby face to end all baby faces. And he knows putting over Gunther here is going to do wonders for Gunther, because it means the next huge baby face that comes up will have an even bigger hill to climb, which will only make them better for it. In that of facing the Gunther that has now since beaten Cena when it comes to that time. I do not think for a moment John Cena is giving up. I don't think he's tapping at all. I think he's either going to get pinned, or I think he is going to pass out in the cravat, refusing to tap out, because there's no way that you will retire and send John Cena on his way by having him turn his back on the one thing he swore he would never do, which is give up. I don't believe you'd have him do that. When it comes to Toxic, he says, unfortunately, Gunther had to just bury Javon, Carmelo, Solo, and even LA. But unfortunately, he's here, and I know he said that no matter who it is, they need to beat Cena. Well, I changed my mind. Gunther does not need nor deserves to retire the GOAT. Plus, Gunther wants this so he can embarrass Cena. Almost everyone else in that tournament wanted it for respect. So I have Cena winning against Gunther. I actually really like that.
Yeah. Same.
I do too, but unfortunately, Tox, there ain't no way. My stepdad is even on your side too. It's a little argument after the finals, and I told him, hey, it's going to be Gunther versus Cena. It's like, come on, it's got to be Cena. I'm like, no. As much as I would love it for Cena to go out just like Sting did, where he won his and then retired, it's not happening. He's definitely not tapping. There ain't no way this man is going to end up tapping out and giving up. There's no way. It got to the point where even in an I Quit match back in the day with the Miz had to literally, like, he almost won based off of this, but they restarted the match of a recording of Cena saying, I quit. That is how Miz tried to get Cena to say, I quit, was faking it. So even at that point, it's not happening. I have to go Gunther here, fortunately, but there's no possible way that this man is tapping out.
Yeah, I think for storytelling, uh I guess the drama, I think it makes sense for John Cena to tap out, even though his whole thing is never give up. What better look would that be for Gunther, for John Cena to stand up after the match, after Gunther made him tap and say, you know what? You got me. You made me do the one thing I said I would never do. I tapped out. You made me tap out. I gave up. You did that. You're a better man than me. Shake my hand and I'll raise your hand in his final match. I think that's what I would like to see. And also, Gunther has been in a streak, man. He's won it all. He's won tournaments. He won this tournament. He won King of the Ring. He's won World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther's in a fucking roll right now.
Hold on, I'll be back. Suddenly I can't hear you.
So, yeah, I mean, you give Gunther that that right to say, I retired Goldberg, I retired Cena. So now he has 2 retirements under his belt. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see Gunther make John Cena tap. I think it would be a great ending to a great career. And I don't think the people would be mad at Cena for giving up to a monster like Gunther after it all goes down. So yeah, I think Gunther has to win it. Although I really do like Toxic's prediction too, because it's right for business. Everyone expects Gunther to go over, but what if he doesn't? What if John Cena beats him and he leaves victorious, that would also make the people really happy, I think, if they see John Cena winning. But again, man, very interesting stuff. No matter what people want to hate on Gunther being the final guy to retire Cena, I'm fucking hyped for this match, man. I'm really looking forward to see what they have planned, what they're gonna do for this fucking spectacle that we're gonna see this weekend. But Tommy, anything else before we get up out of here?
I will say I do completely agree with you on that. As much as everybody loves to hate Gunther for this, he has hyped it up as much as he possibly can on his own. I do wish that it was night, because if it was night, I have a feeling like it would be hyped up a whole lot more than it already is. But even though it is Gunther, it's still hyped up like all hell, and I'm extremely excited for it.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that I think about it more, if it was LA Knight, for example, let's just say, then we would have a babyface versus babyface match. You know, we would have a split crowd. Some people are going to be cheering for Cena, some people are going to be cheering for LA Knight. You also run that risk that some people might actually boo John Cena just because they want to see LA Knight win. Do you really want the people chanting Cena sucks? LA Knight, Cena sucks on Cena's final match? No, I don't think you want that either. So, yeah, man, I'm glad because now we have a heel versus a babyface, a monster fucking heel like Gunther, and a super babyface like John Cena, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be really fucking good. Well, that was the Saturday night's main event predictions with the Snug Wrestling crew. Tommy, take us out of here, will you?
All right, want y'all to stay safe, stay savage, stay snug. Check out the Snug Wrestling merch. That link is in all of our bios, along with the bio of every episode now. So that was one time for the one time for the last time. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.
Sol Ruka sucks.